What's going on? What's going on? You are tuned into the Cigars with Mac podcast. Today's podcast topic, I would like to talk about what is true freedom. Yeah. What is true freedom? You know, we live in America, the home of the land of the brave, the home of the free. But I always hear a lot of times people say, oh, you're a slave, you're not free, you're not a boss. So if you ain't a boss, you ain't free. So today I would love to talk about what is true freedom. Before I get into that, please don't forget to download, like, follow, and share on your favorite podcasting platform. Also, follow us on YouTube, the Cigars with Mac podcast. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, and share. Also, if you want to support us financially, hit us up on Cash App, $ Cigars with Mac, $ Cigars with Mac. If you have any show topics you'd like to hit us with, hit us up at info@cigarswithmacpod.com. But what is freedom? Let me first define what freedom is according to the Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Definition of freedom is the quality or state of being free, such as the absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint in choice or action. Liberation from slavery or restraint or from the power of another. Independence. The quality or state of being exempt or released, usually from something onerous. Freedom from care. Unrestricted use gave him the freedom of their home. The quality of being frank, open, or outspoken, improper familiarity, etc., etc. Mm-mm-mm. Being free. Those are some great definitions. But what makes one truly free? In my opinion, what makes one truly free is freedom of the mind. That's one thing. Man, if you have your right mind, the ability to think freely, the ability to think on your own, the ability not to always be in such a pack or a monolithic thought. To me, that's one form of freedom. You know, I am smoking on a. My mother got this for me for Christmas. And of course, this is the first Sunday of the new year, 2021. It is called the Tatiana Groovy Blue, and it is good. I can tell this is an infused cigar. She got this for me for Christmas, and it's good. But another way we can say one is free is you can freely come and go as you please for the most part. You know, of course, with the pandemic, we are somewhat restricted, you know. But even that's still freedom. But, you know, during this pandemic, we got to calm this spread down so it makes sense that people can't just freely move like they want to. But people still do what the hell they want to do. You got people that don't even wear masks. Hell, that's freedom to me. You know? I hear people saying we're turning into a communist nation. No, we're not. No, we're not. There has to be some regulations on some things. For instance, I remember hearing a gentleman speak of how I can remember when I was a kid, I don't even believe seatbelts were mandatory then because I didn't wear a seatbelt as a kid. You know, we used to drive in cars without seatbelts, but then it later became mandatory. You had to wear seatbelts, and you still have people who don't wear seatbelts. You know? There was a time where car insurance was not mandatory. But now it's mandatory. I mean, you need car insurance nowadays, people. You know, so that there has to be some level of governance in any society. But what makes one truly free, man, is a good question. It's a question you really got to ask yourself, man, because many people believe they're not free. Many people feel like they're trapped in their lifestyle. They feel like they're trapped with their income, but you're really not, man. You're free to come and go. You're free to do as you please. You're free to go out and make more money. You're free to work multiple jobs. I mean, you're free, believe it or not. Hell, there were some slaves that probably felt like even though they're slaves, they're free in the mind. And man, as long as you don't have an individual's mind, man, they're free. You know? Another thing people may say, what makes them free is their money. You know, they're able to buy what they want. That could make one free. You know? And also, I often ask myself why some people feel that they're not free. One is debt. You know, so people feel like student loan debt makes you a slave, and to a degree, I guess it does. But some people feel like, man, I owe all this debt, man. How am I free? You know, can having student loan debt make you a slave? I mean, really? Can having credit card debt make you a slave? Can it? Can even just owing people money make you a slave and not free? You know? Something you got to ask yourself. I feel like another thing is people don't feel they're free because mentally their mind is not where it should be. Sometimes I watch these documentaries on TV, man, and you have these people who are on drugs, for instance. In their mind, they truly believe they cannot get off drugs. They feel like, man, that drug has a hold of me, man, and I gotta have it. I gotta have that crack. I gotta have that cocaine. You know? You got people out here, some women that are in the life, the prostitution life, where they may have a pimp over them. And to them, I've heard, many pimps proclaim that she can leave anytime she wants. But we know behind the doors, that ain't behind the scenes, man, that ain't true, man. That ain't true. Especially if that pimp has her mind mentally. That's one thing I admired about Mike Tyson, was that he always said he would get his opponents mentally before they even threw a punch. He got a hold of their mind, man. I'm telling you, man, your mind is very powerful. So when we see women who are in their life and we're like, girl, why won't you stop hoeing and get out of their life? And a lot of them, they just can't do it mentally, man. So I understand that. I don't begrudge them. I don't judge them for that, Yeah, you got people in marriages that feel like, man, I'm trapped in this marriage, We've acquired so much together that, especially when it comes to bills and debts and acquiring assets, people don't want to get it up, man. Now, to me, that's mental change, When you get so attached to a person where you feel like, man, I can't be without them. I can't do without them. I got to have them. That's not necessarily the case, man. Then you got to look at, some people feel like they're not free because they're working a job that they feel that they need. People used to always ask me back in the day, man, why do you quit jobs and go get another one? Why do you do this? Why do you, you never stay at one job long enough, man? It's because I said, man, you have the ability to go get you another one. I'm not a slave out here, man. I do what the hell I want to do, man. I have the ability and freedom to go out here and get it on my own. I'm going to go get it on my own. People always talking about they getting it out the mud and all that bullshit, man. That's just a bunch of bullshit. Sometimes people just be talking, man. People just be running their mouth. They really have nothing to say. So they just say anything that sounds good to the ear. You know? I'm a boss. Man, you're not no damn boss. You ain't, and number one, I don't really use the word boss in a serious sense because I look at boss as a slave term. You know? Mm-hmm. To me, it's a slave term. That's why I don't use it. Sometimes people feel like, you know, life makes them a slave. They just let what's going on around them bring them down, man. But that's one of the things I feel why some people, they truly don't feel free. And then when you tell people you're free, why they believe you're not free. Some people feel like because people are married that they're trapped. But you can get in and out of a marriage anytime you want to. No one is holding you hostage. I look at people like Steve Harvey who've been married more than 2 times, man. He's showing you, hey, I don't want to be with this person anymore. I'm out. Now, there's a caveat to that. In marriage, there are good days, there are bad days. But you can control that. And you don't just leave anybody because of bad times. So don't get it, don't misconstrue what I'm saying, because like I said before, you have people who are in marriages and relationships and they fucked up. And again, as I said, a job, man. I've literally heard people say people that work a job are slaves. How is working a job making you a slave? Or you making somebody else rich? Okay. But at the end of the day, we all got to pay taxes. And the way a job, to me, can make you a slave is when you feel that you have nothing else. When you want to get out of it. When you want to leave it. When you want to do something different. That's when you are not free. Because you're free at any moment in time to quit. You ain't even got to put a 2 weeks notice in. You could just walk out. It's kind of like, man, when you go to these restaurants, man, and you get shitty service from people, you're like, man, why the hell are you working here if you don't want to be here? You look at people, when you go to Walmart, I mean, some of the shittiest service I've gotten is at Walmart's. And that to me is probably part of the reason why everything is so damn automated, because they're like, you know what? Hell, 1, we can save money. 2, it's already fucked up customer service, so getting rid of people ain't gonna hurt nothing. That's why people love going to Chick-fil-A, because you just feel so welcome. You feel like they really want to serve you. I've never went to Chick-fil-A and got bad service. Never. I've never had it. I've never had it before. Some people say they have. Some people may have said they have. I've never even heard people say they've gotten bad service from Chick-fil-A. Because it's quality, man. Another way people may feel like, especially men, may feel like they're not free is child support, because child support, man, it's kind of fucked up for a man. It just is. Kind of fucked up for a man. So I can understand why some men feel like, man, this shit is a burden to me, man. And of course, another way people feel like they're slaves is people that have to always beg and borrow. I can understand that, But my goal in life is to always be the lender. And when I have the ability to lend, I feel like, hey, man, I would rather give it to you than lend it to you, because I don't want that burden. I don't want you to be burdened by, I feel like you owing me something. I don't like people being indebted to me. Even though in life we don't have a choice sometimes when people are indebted to us, believe it or not. Sometimes we don't, man. And sometimes we have to be in a position where we have to borrow money, get loans. I've been there. And a lot of times people feel like, man, they're always on the bottom of the totem pole. They're always on the shitty end of the stick. And that can make you feel, in shackles, man. Mentally and physically. And the reason why a lot of people feel like they're on the bottom all the time, I'm going to tell you though, man. I'm going to tell you why a lot of times we feel like that. Is because that's all we know. If all you know is being on the losing end of the stick, man, you're going to always feel like a slave, man. Something I discovered at a young age is every day you wake up, you want to always wake up with a state of expectancy. What does that mean? That means every day you wake up, I always expect to learn something new, gain something new, get something financially, get something, to better me. Not just physically or financially, but in any way of bettering me. I always feel like every day something positive will come out of it. That's what keeps me going. And some days it's hard. Some days it's hard. Some of us have been losing all our life. We played sports. We was always on a team that lost. We was in school. We always got bad grades. We never was a straight A student. Some of us are high school dropouts and didn't even go back and get our GED. And we still having to work shit jobs. I remember a young lady I was speaking to on the job. She was part of the sanitation crew, cleaning crew. And man, she was just so negative. She was so negative. She was in so much student loan debt. Her marriage was fucked up. She was living with her mother-in-law. I mean, it was just a shitty situation. And I told her, I said, you can change that though. She really felt like she had to live like that, and she didn't. But her mindset was just jacked up, man. Her mindset was really, really, really fucked up. And then she ended up getting fired because she threatened somebody, man. I mean, it was just bad situation. She's the kind of woman I would call a Calamity Jane. kind of like, I spoke of this about this. Oh man, I think this was one of my first podcasts where I was talking about how strippers, the majority of them are just Calamity Janes, man. Some of those women look good as all outdoors, but man, if you get with them, man, you're never gonna have anything. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I stay away from people like that. I stay away from people like that. I stay away from Calamity Janes. I stay away from bad luck people, man. I just stay away from them. And people like that, man, they kind of bring a lot of that shit on themselves. They don't think about all the fucked up shit they do to people. All they think about is when it comes to them. I mean, life is simple, man. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I mean, it's really that simple. It's not that hard. But you got some people, man, their mentality is, I'm going to get him or her before she gets me. And that's not how it works, people. Can't live life like that. But it is a dog-eat-dog world out here. So you must keep your head on a swivel at all times. Believe that. But then the same token, you got to be careful what kind of energy you have around you, man. Some people, man, they just got bad energy, man. They got bad luck. Something you got to think about, man, you got people in prison who are locked down 24/7. And some of these people are more free than people on the outside world, because people in prison understand as long as your mind isn't in shackles, you're free. Look at people that's locked down, man, that ain't never getting out. Shit. Hell, I be seeing people in prison on Facebook Live. They got, man, I mean, shit, man. A lot of them people, man, they living good in prison. Some of them have a carefree mind. They have no bills. They get 3 hots in the cot. Get to work out. I told somebody one time who I knew, whenever shit got hard, he always resulted back to crime. And I said, you know why you do that? Because it's easy to you. Out here in the real world, you got to get off your ass and do, man. Out here in the real world, it's real issues out here. And you scared to play the game out here. You know the street game at the back of your hand, but the street game don't do nothing but end your ass back up in prison or dead. But you got people like that. You got people like that, man. You have people that really think, man, if I can come up on this quick come up, everything will be good. But for me, man, I always felt like when things come too fast, you don't appreciate it. You just don't. Why? Because it came too quick. You didn't really know how to earn it, man. Sometimes it's good to take that hard right over the easy wrong. It just is. I know. Sometimes it's best to take the normal route instead of the shortcut. But freedom of the mind, that's what freedom is. Some people think having money makes you free. Now, to a degree, it does. When you have money, man, money can open doors. I mean, it just can. People treat you differently when you have money. hmm People treat you differently when you have money, man. They just do. There's no shade on people who don't have money because, hell, even if you are what one would consider wealthy, you still can be a slave in the mind. I heard a brother say, ignorant people make the best slaves. Me personally, I'm not really big on religion like that. But when I woke up years ago, almost a decade ago, I would say in probably 2012, 20 at the end, maybe 2012, 20 into 2011, I walked away from so-called religion because I felt like religion, man, kept people in chains, man. I really did, especially in the church, man, especially in the black church, with Christianity, period. You know, when you're in church, man, you got all these goddamn offerings. You got these pastor wife anniversaries. You got these this offering, that offering. You got people, man, that just financially don't have it. I remember when I was in church, man, I was a big giver, man. I was a big giver. I remember sometimes, man, I would pay my tithes and offering, man, and wouldn't have no money to do nothing with because I'm giving my money to the damn church. And one day I was like, man, forget all this crap, man. I gotta eat, man. God does not need my money. Yeah, I said it. God don't need my money, man. And it took a little time. It took a little time to learn how to manage money, man. Because I'm telling you, man, I just wasn't taught how to manage money. It just wasn't. Then when I would get money, a certain amount of money, man, I spend it up. That wasn't free. So that's why I say, man, you can have money, man, and still not be free. You can have all this money, man, and still be fucking burdened down. I've worked with people, man, in the workforce, and these people are close to retirement age, and they freaking paying for their kids' apartments and houses and shit like that. And the excuse they would the excuse they would have was they'd rather pay their children's rent than have them come back home and live with them. To me, that don't make no sense because you're not really helping them when you do that because they're not learning how to get it on their own. Well, they have this amount of kids, so they don't, no, you're not helping them. They're a single parent, and you're not helping them though. You're just not, man. You're actually hurting them. And they're becoming dependent on you. They're not really learning how to be financially responsible. And that's a problem. That's why I say you can have money, you can have nice clothes, you can have all of those things there, man, and still be a slave, man. You can work at McDonald's making minimum wage, and mentally you're more free than a person making $1 million a month, a year, a day. Because number one, you're probably not as in debt as they are. And this is no knock on people with money, man. I'm telling you, it's really not. But you got people like that, man. You got people like that. Back to it earlier, I want to touch on, man, about how ignorant people make the best slaves. And religious people aren't the only people that are ignorant, because for some people, religion has saved their life. Oh, yeah. So don't get it twisted. Some people, they need religion. But I'm just using it as an example how a lot of people in religion, they can be somewhat ignorant to reality. That's what I mean when I say that. And that's problematic. That's problematic, man. But I would never knock people for believing in who they believe in. That's something I'll never do. And I don't want people to think that, because I quote biblical scriptures. I do. And the sad thing is, man, I learned one day that I couldn't rely on religion. I had to rely on my own knowledge, skills, and abilities. Why? Because I'm not a slave. You see what I'm saying? I'm not a slave, man. I've worked a job before. I've had a business. And I'm here to tell you, when I was a business owner, man, I was so stressed out, man, all the time. Always get into it with the corporate structure. Because I was a franchise owner. And they sell you on that, you're not working a 9 to 5. You're your own boss. But anytime you have customers, you work for that customer. You see what I'm saying? So everybody's working for somebody. But as an entrepreneur, man, I was always stressed out, man. When I had my first business, I was a janitor, franchise owner, man. I was always about making my customers happy, getting customer surveys, feedback. Did I do it? Did I do it right? Did I do it this way? And man, I got tired of that shit. I was a young cat back then. And I was not as mature as I am now, business-wise. I was a mature young man, and I didn't understand, how things worked in the real world, because I was in the military, But anyway, folks, I just want to chop it up with y'all about what is true freedom, because it was something on my mind, man. Something on my mind, something I want to talk about, something I feel we all can relate to, man. Like I said, what is true freedom, man? True freedom is in your mind. True freedom is in your thoughts. True freedom is the ability to change your life. True freedom is the ability to come and go as you please, because we, believe it or not, as long as we're not shackled down physically with chains, we have the ability to come and go as we please. That's freedom. The freedom to be able to make a change, the freedom to be able to understand tomorrow's a new day and I got an opportunity to make a new change. I have the ability to change my life. But it starts in the mind, man. Anyway, folks, thank you for tuning into the Cigars with Mac podcast. Don't forget to download, like, follow, and share on your favorite podcasting platform. Don't forget to follow us and subscribe to us on YouTube. Don't forget to hit us up at info@cigarswithmacpod if you got any show topics. Again, info@cigarswithmacpod. Let me say it one more time. info@cigarswithmacpod. If you want to support us financially, hit us up on Cash App, $Cigars with Mac. If you want to hit my line, hit me up at 682-227-1780, 682-227-1780. And good people, I am out.